This definitely hurts. UConn women's basketball nearly turns complicated season into national title. Minneapolis, with a towel draped over her bowed head, Evana Westbrook walked dejectedly where UConn women's basketball players had always only danced, making her way through falling confetti and into an arena tunnel, finally down a hallway leading to the Huskies' locker room. This was just moments after a 64-49 loss to South Carolina in Sunday's national championship game, the acutely painful moment that marked a suspension of pride likely to prevail sometime in the coming months. Westbrook stopped, leaned against a wall and slid to the floor, sobbing, inconsolable. She remained there until helped to her feet by UConn associate head coach Chris Daly and teammate Dorka Juhas, who had one arm in a sling and the other around Westbrook as they turned the corner and disappeared. I'm sure when we get back home there will be opportunities to reflect on all that transpired, but I don't know that anyone is sitting around right now feeling all that, Coach Gino Auriemma said maybe a half hour later, after he and bleary-eyed players held the press conference no one wants to hold at the Final Four. That will be pretty up front and center, at one point. Right now it's kind of back there somewhere. When you get here, you're incredibly excited and incredibly proud, especially under the circumstances that we got here, but once you're here you want to win, and when you don't, it's crazy that 40 minutes can wipe out 5 months of something you're really passionate about and did great. That's the nature of sports. That's the beauty of it. The journeys that end another way, with a trophy and a celebration, wouldn't mean so much if the ones that were ultimately derailed didn't hurt so badly. Auriemma and his program entered a perfect 11-0 in national title games, but the players on this particular team were experiencing the final step of an NCAA tournament for the first time. And they were smothered and bullied by a bigger and better South Carolina team that was ranked No. 1 in the preseason and went wire to wire, the way several UConn teams have in a dynasty that began in the same building in 1995. This was a unique UConn team, the only one to enter a Final Four with 5 losses, a group that continually reinvented itself when all the well-documented injuries and illnesses started piling up in November, shortly after the Huskies lost to Gamecocks at the Battle for Atlantis in November or another lifetime. It was inspiring, the way the Huskies found themselves in February and March and played into April, winning 15 games in a row, clinching a 14th consecutive Final Four appearance with a classic Elite Eight victory over NC State, riding the late-season brilliance of Paige Bueckers after leaning so heavily on all the other parts of a roster held together with tape. Auriemma didn't think he took the best team in America to Minneapolis, but a semifinal victory over Stanford on Friday removed the happy-to-be-here vibe and put them in a game with everything on the line. So the Huskies, as Sunday night became Monday morning, felt like they lost everything by losing, thoroughly, to the clear-cut best team in America. It was an amazing weekend, said Bueckers, her UConn career now half over. Just being able to be here with my team and spend more time with each other, build more memories, and to do it at home was amazing. I mean, nobody in my position would be happy right now, so I'm obviously upset with the way things ended. Super proud of this team for how far we've come and all the adversity we've dealt with and all we've overcome to get to this point. But at UConn, it's national championship or nothing, so obviously upset, frustrated, disappointed. Just wish things could have gone different for the seniors. Every college basketball player has an extra year of eligibility due to the pandemic, but there has never been an indication that this wasn't goodbye for seniors Kristen Williams, Westbrook and Olivia Nelson-Ododa. If the last image, not necessarily the lasting one, for those players is particularly ugly. Williams was 1 for 7 and scored a career-low 2 points. Westbrook shot 3 for 10 and scored 7 points. Nelson-Ododa had 4 points and 4 rebounds, part of a frontcourt eaten alive by the tournament's most outstanding player, Aaliyah Boston, and the entirety of the Gamecocks frontcourt. The Huskies never led. South Carolina had 7 offensive rebounds in the first quarter, 16 by halftime, 21 overall. Outside, Destanni Henderson poured in 26 points and every South Carolina guard locked up every UConn guard, making even possessions that ended up in scores feel like a twisted mess. Dawn Staley's ferocious team showed Gino Auriemma's overmatched team what championship No. 12 will require. He knew all along. Now his players do. Those players showed some pluck, pulling to within 8 at halftime after trailing by 16 early. But the Huskies were overwhelmed to start the second half the way they were overwhelmed to start the game. Fittingly, UConn was incomplete on this night. Ozzie Fudd became ill Saturday night, missed Sunday's shoot-around and largely ineffective in 16-plus minutes of the game. Uhas had broken a wrist against NC State and unavailable in Minneapolis. It was just a non-stop series of events that we had to keep dealing with, Auriemma said. Even today, Liv's groin was all wrapped up from something that happened the other night, and Ozzie hardly could play. It just didn't stop all year long. I don't think any of those two things would have mattered the way South Carolina played, but it was just one thing after another after another after another. I think it was a remarkable effort by them to stay together as well as they did throughout the entire year, and to be in this game. But then once you get in this game, you want to win this game. You're not just happy to be here. But I think when this wears off, I think they'll appreciate the effort that it took to get here. It's another reminder, too, how hard it is to win here. Usually the better team wins when you get here. There's very few upsets in the Final Four. There are 2 guarantees on the final day of the Final Four. One team takes the stage and dances under confetti and passes around a trophy. Another exits quickly, with players consoling each other. Never had a UConn team experienced what this was did all season. Never had a UConn team experienced what this was did Sunday. Auriemma walked to the locker room with his head down. Tears rolled down Nika Moole's cheeks as she followed. There were blank expressions. And then there was Westbrook, broken, overwhelmed, going to the floor and needing help up to finish a journey, one UConn will look back on with a great sense of accomplishment. The ending sure as hell hurt, though, as it should. Definitely not the outcome that we wanted, she said on stage, her eyes still red. You know, we win together, we lose together, so this definitely hurts. But a lot of memories, a lot of great memories made with this group.